Good evening, good evening. Peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. Hope everybody enjoying their Monday. It's been a while, been a few days since dropped any content. Hope everybody had a great weekend. So, as the title says, President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And from what I'm hearing, it's a very late stage, prostate cancer. So, first and foremost, I want to wish President Joe Biden um, hopefully a well recovery. Hope that he is able to, bounce back. I know he's up there in age, but praying for him that he pulled through. We may, have a disagree. We may disagree politically with people, but never wish nothing like that on people. So I hope that he's able to pull through. But with that being said, it makes you wonder who knew this, who kept quiet about it. Did you know? Is that the reason why his mental decline is so obvious? And why was it not full transparency about his condition with the American people? Because see, when you suffering from something like that, that's nothing that is overnight. When you stage 99 in prostate cancer, they start telling men to start looking for that in their 40s. So President Biden is, of course, in his 80s, just about, if not. So him being afforded the best health care that the world can provide, being the president of the United States, who knew this? And, with his health being in question, was he even capable of running the country when he even ran for president? I'm a legend. Something of that magnitude, late in the game like that, at least 5 to 10 years, right? So when you think about that, you think also, was he making the decisions? You see, President Biden, they said all those uh, executive orders, all those pardons, all those things he was signing on the way out the door, almost starting World War III. Was it really him making those decisions? And once again, like I said, I wish the former president of the United States, Joe Biden, uh, all the well wishes, and hope he's able to, enjoy the rest of his glory years happily and healthy. But that should have been well known to the American people. And that should have definitely been discussed as far as his capabilities of running a country. when we see that, we look back at that debate between Joe Biden and President Donald Trump. His mental decline was evident, but the Democrat Party, legacy media, all the left-leaning media stations, oh no, he's great, he's doing fine, it's nothing wrong, he's sharp as a tack. But we could clearly see the man tripping downstairs. We clearly see the man wandering off, not knowing where he going after he leave a podium. We clearly seen him stumbling over words. We clearly see this man not the Joe Biden that we knew from when he was vice president when Obama was in office. So there is where it's going to get critical. I see that President Trump is launching an investigation to see if people knew this, to see if people, because a lot of decisions were made. We had a lot of crazy things happen in the last administration that we never seen before. We seen anywhere from 20 to 40 million undocumented immigrants coming to this nation. Not only did they come into this nation, they were invited into this nation and they were sent and dispersed from the southern border, sent on buses and airplanes throughout the entire country. We've seen a lot of things that we never seen. We've seen by proxy wars where we've sent trillions of dollars to other nations and we're wondering why. I'm thinking now, did President Joe Biden, was he making these decisions? He said when he signed all of those pardons and executive orders on his way out the door, it was an auto pen. An auto pen. Because see, if we find out through this investigation that that's not true, everything that man signed needs to be investigated, needs to be looked into. So you had the largest, most powerful nation in the world being ran by a man that was totally, he just was not in the health, nowhere near cognitive enough to run this nation. We seen inflation go through the roof. People out here, American citizens out here struggling. We seen catastrophes happen where in North Carolina, people lost their homes due to a hurricane. And there was no help, there was no money in FEMA to help American taxpayers who pay into FEMA be left hanging. We seen wildfires break out across California, and there were no money in FEMA to help them rebuild. Now, Trump say he gonna obliterate the deep state. So if Joe Biden wasn't making the decisions, that things that we never seen in America will put us in a place where this country is on the brink of a Great Depression. Was the deep state making these decisions? Whoever they may be, unlisted bureaucrats that were signing executive orders on auto pen for Joe Biden. Could that be the case? You mean to tell me Kamala Harris? You mean to tell me Jill Biden? You mean the people that's closest to Joe Biden did not know this man was diagnosed with basically the final stage in prostate cancer? We could visibly see this man not in the best health. The Speaker of the House at the time, Nancy Pelosi, she didn't know? Did Obama know that this man was not mentally capable of running the country because of his health? Through this investigation, if they find that this man, everybody around him knew this, everything that Joe Biden signed needs to be reversed. Every policy that wasn't his signature as the president, if it was somebody else, because clearly, if you ask me, it was somebody that hated this country. It was somebody that literally hated this country and the citizens to put and implement a lot of the things that we saw happen. As we reflect over the last 4 years, we seen a whole lot of things that we never seen before in this nation or for a very long time. And I just want to see how this plays out, because we've seen judges that were placed in by Joe Biden and Obama that have prioritized illegal aliens. These judges were appointed by Joe Biden and Obama. These judges, I would say, need to be removed. And we wonder why people are not getting fed due process. We wonder why the criminal justice system is so crazy right now. We wonder why people are being targeted. They weaponize the judicial system like they do. Is the deep state, somebody pulling the strings, got their hand up Joe Biden's butt, making him sign things that he didn't have? For me, any and everybody that was appointed by Joe Biden, that's a prosecutor, that's a federal judge, all of them need to be removed. If he was not making, allegedly, the decisions to appoint these people, who did? And what are their motives? I'm just saying, y'all, this is some scary stuff when you think about it. The fate of the world, the fate of the country was in the hands of a man with stage 10 prostate cancer, who more than likely, allegedly, was not making or had the mental capacity to make these decisions. Think about that. It's just like when you got a family member that's older, that's on a way to transition, on their way to the next life, and you got the family member being, oh, we need you to sign this for the house, and we need you to sign this. Depending on who that is that's telling the family member to sign this over, they could be telling their family member, sign all this stuff over to me and forget the rest of the family. If they got bad intentions, everything that family member that's transitioning is, everything that they sign is not on them. They not in the right mind. They not in their right mind. So if you got the president of the United States for the better part of 4 years, not in their right mind, no wonder this country is in the state that it's in. And the only thing we need to know now is who and why. We see certain people being targeted by these judges. They going up against the president to combat his decisions on what we should do regarding illegal immigrants. That is crazy. And then you do the history on these judges, and these are the same judges that Obama and Joe Biden have appointed. Once again, I wish Joe Biden well. I hope that he has a speedy recovery. But who in the world was making the decisions for this country if it was not Joe Biden himself as the president of the United States of America? We need to know this, man. We need to know this information, bro. This ain't nothing to sneeze at, man. That put everybody, not only in the country, in the world, in jeopardy. When I seen that man sign over on his way out the door, when Joe Biden signed that bill or that executive order to give Ukraine the right to use United States issued missiles to fire at Russia, I said, oh no, something ain't right. Why would you make a decision like that with less than 2 weeks left in your presidency? Why would you try to send us to war? Why would you try to escalate the war in Ukraine and Russia? We already gave Ukraine trillions of dollars. They not gonna win that war, bro. Why would you rush to a decision like that? You know, and for people to act like this ain't a big deal, look at the media, man. They not talking about this. They not talking about this. The man that had the split decision to make, that got the largest military at his fingertips, that could push a button and knock off half the planet with one button, did not have the mental capacity to run this country, allegedly. Because I'm not thinking he just got, if he was in office, I'm not thinking he just got this news about the prostate cancer within the last 100 or something days since he been out of office. He had to have that if it wasn't for the last 10 years. He had to have that while he was the sitting president. If people kept lying, and people argue with me all the time, well, why you say the Democrats be lying? Bro, they lied and said that the man was as sharp as a tack, and we sitting up there looking at this man fumble over words, tripping downstairs, you know, and I just looked at it like it was elder abuse, and they couldn't hide it no more when they did that debate with Trump. Say what you say, ain't nothing wrong with Trump. His mental capacity is top tier. So we know Trump ain't got no issue. So once again, man, and I'm gonna get up out of here. I got to get back to work. But if President Biden did not have or was not making the decisions on this nation, people need to be held accountable for that, man. People need to be held accountable for that. That is some bull. That's a BS, man. But yeah, it's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Peace and blessings.